Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the iPhone XS Max and see how it holds up in the later part of 2022. Now, this specific device actually ended up bringing a lot of cool changes since the middle part of this year. So my mid-2022 review of this thing, I talked about iOS 16 in the first beta, I talked about what we could be seeing with the next iPhones and basically how this iPhone is going to hold up the rest of the year. And personally, I still think this specific device, the XS Max, is still holding up fairly well. There's some things that I never really liked about this device, which I've talked about a ton, but I do think a phone like the iPhone XS Max still has a ton of power within it. I think it's still very relevant, and if you're planning on buying a phone like this, I would say go for it, However, do keep in mind the successor of this phone was way better, and even now in iOS 16, even though it did get a lot of features within iOS 16, I would still probably recommend waiting it out and seeing if you can go and get a device, maybe like an 11 Pro Max or a 12 Pro Max, maybe spend a little bit more money, but those are going to be giving you much better experiences than these specific devices, in my opinion, or this one. Now, the first thing that changed this year for the most part, or since the middle part of this year, was iOS 16. We did get the next major version of this specific version of software, just recently, and since then we've gotten iOS 16.0.3, 16.1.1, today we got 16.1.1, and I'm really happy to see that, those changes. And I can't wait for these things to be coming out in the future because we're going to be getting a way better experience of a device, for the next few years. This phone's not going anywhere anytime soon. And even if iOS 16 isn't like the best version of software right now, it's going to be getting better throughout time. So that is a big thing to keep in mind. Personally, I'm looking forward to the XS Max from a software standpoint, but also I did compare the iPhone XS Max against the latest iPhones. These are the iPhone 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro Max, and the 14 Pro. Now, speaking about the 14 Plus and 14 Pro Max, which kind of seem like these are going to be probably the biggest upgrades in my opinion, or the people going from one Max phone to another, you are going to be getting a massive change going from a XS Max to a 14 Pro Max. And I don't really want to give the illusion to kind of tell you like, oh, this phone is going to be getting the same exact experience as the 14 Pro Max. That is not the case. You're going to be getting way better displays and everything like that. But from everything that I tested, from my experience of using the XS Max and comparing against the 14 Pro Max, I was still able to see a ton of overlap, and I was really happy to see how well my XS Max was performing against my iPhone 14 Pro Max. And this day and age, having a phone like the XS Max is still giving you a very big display, decent speeds. It's still a fairly fast phone. It's definitely not competing with the iPhone, 14 Pro Max like I mentioned, but you're still getting a 60Hz display, but it's a very fast phone for how old this phone is. And because you are getting a lot of features within iOS 16, it's giving you the illusion that this phone still kind of performs fairly well, which I'm actually super shocked about. So that in and of itself is a big, massive thing that I do kind of appreciate a lot with this specific phone. So that is a big thing to keep in mind just in and of itself. Now on top of that, you're also still getting, very good build quality, very decent cameras, it's a dual camera setup, and everything like that. But this phone did go down in the used market quite a bit as well, so it may seem like a really good deal, and it is, but I would probably recommend going for something like the 11 Pro Max or the 12 Pro Max like I mentioned before. Those are definitely going to be way better deals, but I will still say the XS Max is a decent phone in this day and age. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.